Hello, today we bring you another video review. This time it's a remote control signal analyzer for 433 MHz. It is powered by a USB cable and you can connect it to a PC or a USB charger because it requires only 500 milliamps. It is used to analyze the code from a remote control, that is, the remote control signal. It can read remotes for barriers, automated gates, and car alarm remotes. It identifies the information component of the signal. It means that it can tell you whether the code is fixed or rolling and identify the system type. Now, how to use it? You only need to press a button on the remote and the signal analyzer will display the signal data. Here it says key lock, which means that the code is rolling. We're not going to get into too many technical details. You can check the instruction manual for a more detailed explanation of each display parameter. Here we are going to give you a quick rundown of the capabilities of the signal analyzer. First line represents a static part of the code. The first digit is the button code, the rest is the serial number of the remote. The second line is the code type, in our case it's rolling. Each time we press a button, the code will change. In the third line, number 2 stands for the system index. It means that if we try using another remote of the same type, it will also show number 2. This means that all remotes with the same system index will be compatible with one given automation equipment. The next parameter is the button counter. Each press of a button adds a new counter to the parameter. The next parameter is the button code. It repeats the first digit from the first line. This button is number 2, this button is number 8, this is number 4, and this one is number 1. And below is the signal format. In our case, we're using door hand remote. Let's try checking some other remotes as well. Nice Milo, for example. We can see the static part of the code. The second line shows that it is a rolling code. Then we see the system index, the button counter, and the button code. Let's do the same using Nice Floor S remote, for example. By the way, Nice Floor series remotes will be identified differently. The signal analyzer will show the position of the micro switches. Let us show you. Inside the remote there are micro switches. For example, if we change the position of the switches, say like this, we shall see the corresponding pattern on the display. Let's move 2 switches in the middle to the same position as the ones at the sides. The pattern repeats the position of the switches. Also to the right, you can see which button was pressed, left or right one. This is Nice Floor S remote. If you use a Gsm remote, the signal analyzer will show that the code is fixed. The left button is 24 bits, the right one is 12 bits. FAC remote has a rolling code. Just like before, we see a static part of the code. It says that this is a rolling code. It displays the system index, etc. Let's also try a Gsm remote. Everything is the same. Car alarm remotes can be analyzed in the same way. This here is the Tomahawk alarm remote. It shows that the signal format is SL. It is unique to car alarm remotes. Then we see the static part of the code. The code is rolling, then the system index and other data. This is a Sheriff car alarm remote ZX1060. This is Starline B6B9. This is APS. Starline A series. Mongoose. Panther Jaguar, and Tomahawk. The signal analyzer is very useful for making remote copies. It allows you to verify that the remote was copied correctly. Let's test it with the help of the SDBL4 remote by PrimePult. This is a universal remote, but we're not going to explain what it is for. Please check the corresponding instruction manual, and we also have a separate review for this remote. Let's make a copy of this AN Motors remote. Let's copy it to the A button. We will need to press the activation button to enter the programming mode, then place the AN Motors remote close to the SDBL4 while holding down the corresponding button on the AN Motors remote. The remote has been copied, and we can verify that with the help of the signal analyzer. We need the top line on the display. The first line must be the same for both remotes. We see that the codes are identical, which guarantees the copy will work. The corresponding buttons on the remotes have the same button code and the same serial number. We can reprogram the A button to copy this CAM-A remote, for example. We need to hold down the A button to enter the programming mode, then place it close to the CAM-A remote while holding down the activation button on the CAM-A. The fixed code has been copied. The signal analyzer will show that the copy is identical to the original. To make car alarm remote copies, you can use our UCAR universal remote. Once again, please watch a separate video review for this product and check the corresponding instruction manual. Let's copy a Tomahawk car alarm remote. Here we have a Tomahawk ZX series remote. First, we need to copy it to the UCAR. Hold down the required button on the UCAR remote. To make a copy, the UCAR needs to receive the code twice. Now let's check. Once again, we need the first line. The first digit is the button code, the rest is the serial number. If we check the remotes using our signal analyzer, we'll see that the first line is identical for both remotes. We have successfully duplicated a Tomahawk car alarm remote. Please check our website for a detailed instruction manual on how to use the signal analyzer. And as always, thank you for watching.